Why are there more and more single men today? The answer might surprise you, and it's not just about women or dating apps. In today's world, many men are stepping back from relationships, but not for the reasons you might think. It's a mix of frustration with modern dating, the impact of technology, and a shift toward personal priorities. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone complain about the lack of meaningful connection on dating apps? Or the feeling of being undervalued, like a provider or a source of entertainment, instead of an equal partner in a relationship? These aren't isolated experiences, they're part of a bigger picture. In this video, we're diving deep into the why. Why are so many men opting out of relationships? How is technology distorting our expectations of love? And most importantly, how are men finding fulfillment outside of the traditional idea of dating? By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the struggles of modern dating, but also discover ways to navigate these challenges with confidence and self-respect. Let's explore together. Modern dating has become a landscape full of challenges, frustrations, and unfulfilled expectations. Let's explore why this is happening and how it impacts the dynamics between men and women. One of the most significant challenges is communication, or rather, the lack of it. Ghosting, one-sided conversations, and unclear intentions have become the norm on dating apps. Imagine putting effort into crafting a meaningful message, only to receive no reply or a superficial response. It's disheartening and leaves many feeling undervalued. On top of that, there's a noticeable imbalance in effort. Men often feel like they're expected to make all the moves, planning dates, initiating conversations, and keeping the energy alive while receiving little to no reciprocation. It's exhausting and unsustainable. Now, let's talk about dating apps and social media. They were designed to connect us, but instead, they've created an environment where people treat dating like a game. Swipe left, swipe right, it's all about instant gratification. The result? Superficial connections that rarely lead to meaningful relationships. Women often report feeling overwhelmed by attention on these platforms, while men feel like they're competing in an endless race for validation. Then, there are unrealistic expectations. Social media has fueled a culture of perfection. Men feel pressured to meet impossibly high standards, whether it's about looks, finances, or social status. Similarly, women feel the need to maintain an idealized image. This mutual pressure creates a disconnect, making genuine connections even harder to achieve. Here's a real-life example. A friend of mine once went on a date where everything seemed perfect until the woman spent the entire time scrolling through her phone. No engagement, no interest. It's situations like these that make many men question the value of modern dating altogether. So what's the takeaway here? Modern dating challenges aren't just about bad experiences, they're about systemic issues. If we want to navigate this landscape successfully, we need to focus on authenticity, clear communication, and mutual effort. Let's dive deeper into these solutions as we continue. Negative dating experiences can leave lasting emotional scars, especially for men navigating the complex and often unforgiving world of modern relationships. Let's dive into how these experiences affect men and the emotional toll they take. Many men share stories of feeling undervalued, exploited, or even manipulated in relationships. For example, there's the all-too-common scenario where a man invests significant time, energy, and resources into a relationship, only to realize that his efforts aren't reciprocated. This imbalance often leads to frustration and a deep sense of inadequacy. Let's consider emotional trauma. A man might have been cheated on in the past, leaving him with a lingering fear of vulnerability. Or perhaps he's faced constant rejection, each experience chipping away at his self-esteem. Over time, these repeated blows can build up, creating a reluctance or outright refusal to engage in new relationships. Another layer of the emotional burden comes from the societal expectations placed on men. They're often told to man up, suppress their emotions, and provide unconditionally, no matter the cost to their mental health. This pressure creates a cycle where men feel they can't express their struggles, leading to isolation and burnout. A real-life example. One man shared his story of dating someone who constantly criticized him. Every effort he made, whether it was planning dates, offering emotional support, or being there for her, was met with complaints or indifference. He eventually realized that no matter what he did, it wasn't enough. Walking away was painful, but it was also liberating. These experiences highlight why many men are stepping away from the dating scene. It's not because they've given up on love, it's because they're choosing to protect their mental health. The lesson here: relationships should uplift, not drain you. If you're consistently feeling like you're pouring from an empty cup, it's time to reevaluate. In the next part, we'll explore how men can move past these emotional burdens and rediscover a sense of self-worth and fulfillment outside of relationships. Technology has transformed the way we connect, communicate, and date, but it hasn't come without challenges. Social media and dating apps have created an environment where appearances often overshadow authenticity, and this shift has had profound effects on relationships. One significant change is the emphasis on superficial validation. Social media platforms encourage us to seek likes, comments, and shares rather than genuine, meaningful interactions. Similarly, dating apps reduce compatibility to a swipe left or right, turning human connection into a game of quick judgments. For example, a man named Chris shared his story. He was once successful in dating through traditional means, but as apps became the norm, he felt the pressure to constantly present a polished version of himself. Profile pictures had to be perfect, bios needed to be witty, and responses had to be timed just right. It wasn't about who he was, it was about who he appeared to be online. The constant need to prove himself drained his energy and made him question his self-worth. Moreover, these platforms often reward surface-level interactions. Men frequently share that they feel ignored or undervalued unless they meet certain criteria, be it a certain look, income, or social standing. Meanwhile, genuine traits like kindness or intelligence often take a back seat. Another challenge is the lack of accountability in digital communication. Ghosting, vague replies, and the ease of ending conversations create emotional instability. It's easy to forget that behind every screen is a real person with feelings. So, how do we navigate this digital maze? The key lies in balancing online interactions with real-world connections. Be mindful of your intentions when using apps. Are you seeking validation, or are you looking for a genuine bond? Limit your time on social media and prioritize face-to-face interactions where authenticity thrives. The impact of technology on dating is undeniable, but it's up to us to take control and ensure it doesn't compromise the depth and quality of our connections. In the next part, we'll explore how shifting personal priorities can lead to greater fulfillment, both in and out of relationships. Why are more men turning their attention away from romantic relationships to focus on personal growth, careers, and passions? The answer lies in the shifting priorities of modern life and the quest for deeper fulfillment. Many men have shared that pursuing traditional relationships often feels like a losing game. With increasing frustrations in the dating scene, some have chosen to redirect their energy into areas where their efforts yield tangible results, such as career development, fitness, or creative pursuits. Take Mark, for example. After several unsuccessful relationships where he felt unappreciated and drained, he decided to step back and evaluate what truly made him happy. Mark realized that his passion for photography had been sidelined for years. By diving back into this interest, he not only found joy, but also a new community of like-minded people who valued him for his authenticity and creativity. The shift to focusing on personal growth doesn't mean giving up on relationships entirely. It means placing a higher value on oneself. Men are finding that by becoming the best version of themselves, they attract healthier, more fulfilling connections naturally. Moreover, living a life driven by purpose and passion brings a sense of satisfaction that no external relationship can provide. Here's how you can do the same. Invest in skills and hobbies. Find something you're passionate about, whether it's learning a new language, picking up an instrument, or diving into a sport. This not only enhances your skills, but also builds confidence. Focus on health and fitness. Physical well-being directly impacts mental strength. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and mindfulness practices can transform your outlook. Set career goals. Strive for excellence in your professional life. Whether it's climbing the corporate ladder or starting your own venture, success in work fosters self-respect and independence. Build a strong social circle. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Healthy friendships provide emotional support and broaden your perspective. By shifting your focus to self-improvement, you take control of your happiness. In doing so, you might find that the right relationships come naturally, built on mutual respect and shared values, rather than desperation or compromise. Society is evolving, and so are our perspectives on relationships, marriage, and gender roles. This shift is not just changing how men and women interact, but also reshaping the very foundations of relationships. Changing views on marriage and family. In the past, marriage and family were seen as life's ultimate goals. However, many individuals today prioritize personal growth and career over traditional milestones. Men are increasingly questioning societal expectations and choosing paths that align with their values and aspirations, rather than conforming to outdated norms. Consider John, a software developer who chose to remain single, focusing on his career and hobbies. By doing so, he found fulfillment through innovation and creativity. John's story illustrates how redefining life goals can lead to happiness without relying on societal validation. Gender roles and equality. With increasing awareness of gender equality, traditional roles within relationships are dissolving. Men no longer see themselves solely as providers, and women are embracing independence. This change allows for partnerships built on mutual respect and shared responsibilities, but it also challenges outdated expectations in relationships. Future trends in relationships. Looking forward, we might see more individualistic approaches, people prioritizing personal happiness and independence. Technological integration, virtual relationships, and AI-powered dating assistants may become common. Redefinition of commitment. Flexible, non-traditional relationship models, like open relationships or partnerships without marriage, may rise in popularity. Lessons from societal shifts. The key takeaway? Happiness is deeply personal, relationships are evolving, and it's okay to step away from traditional paths to find what truly fulfills you. Focus on building a life you love, and the right connections will naturally follow. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've explored in today's discussion. From the challenges of modern dating to the undeniable impact of technology, and even the shifting priorities of men choosing personal growth over societal expectations, it's clear that relationships are evolving in ways we've never seen before. Key takeaways: modern dating challenges, communication gaps, ghosting, and mismatched expectations have left many men feeling undervalued and disillusioned. Technology's role. While dating apps and social media have made connecting easier, they've also emphasized superficiality and validation over genuine bonds. Changing priorities. For many, fulfillment is now found outside of romantic relationships through careers, hobbies, and personal development. But here's the most important lesson: happiness isn't defined by relationships alone. It's about understanding your own value, setting boundaries, and building a life you're proud of. When you focus on personal growth, the right connections will naturally follow. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Have you faced similar challenges in relationships or seen a shift in your own priorities? We'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications for more insights into social trends and personal development. Together, we can explore, learn, and grow.